Good evening, TheoTrade. This is Corey Rosenblumen. You're watching the Theo Nightly video for the 18th of December, 2019, which means we're only a couple of weeks before the beginning of 2020. But before we get there, we're again talking stocks at new 52-week highs, or in some cases, new all-time highs. And without further ado, we'll start the video tonight with Tesla shares, which are bursting through the overhead resistance, and this is a weekly chart going back to 2015. We got the burst above 360, which is our intermediate level, 380, which was an annual high level, and in 2019, at the end of the year, we have shares pushing up into 400. So that's the structure and levels for Tesla shares, and it looks even more dramatic on the daily chart. I like to call these flag or impulse patterns. It's when a price breaks above a key trend line, and it does so on very high or strong bull volume. And this is the typical bull flag or impulse buy type of pattern. It also works on the downside. We call that an impulse sell. It's when price makes a new low in a downtrend on strong bear volume, and we short the first pullback, especially to a horizontal resistance level. We have a new price low, new bear volume, short the next pullback with a flag. That's an in-out spread, vertical, long put, or just short shares of the stock. And this pattern continues until this bear volume dries up. So we see that happening at the low, and that's about 200 per share, which really wasn't that long ago for Tesla shares. And that was a reversal point with strong bull volume, and the bull volume has been expanding with this most recent pattern. I'll zoom in on it. It is the impulse buy trade. So it's a new price high, confirmed with strong volume. It's a key pattern to watch in our trending stock lists or stocks making new highs to join into the trend with pullback or retracement trades. Again, my preference is in-out spreads to the long side or vertical spreads. We like to buy those into the rising moving averages. So Tesla was just a candidate, and that's only trying to play for the prior high. So that vertical is structured in this case from the moving average, or if you want to go with the price levels without moving averages, from about 330 per share to 360. If you have been trading Tesla, you've noticed that it does relatively well trading within 30 handle blocks or 30 handle resistance and support levels. Okay, so Tesla is at all-time highs. Bull volume is getting stronger. We don't just walk up and buy it. It's too late for that. And it's due for a pullback. We buy on the pullbacks. We don't trade through the pullbacks. Other shares that are making new highs, we see this in the chat frequently, is Shopify. And this is, see, just like that, was a trade setup and trade candidate similar to the logic in Tesla. New price highs, rising trend, rising volume, buy the pullback and trade up, structure your in-out spread or your vertical spread to target or play for or exit at the prior high. And this is a little bit of a longer duration trade on this most recent call out of support, just under 300 per share. And that's given us right now a 100-point rally. So there's two things Shopify and Tesla have in common, and that's they've done quite well in 2019. And they're both at 400. That's a critical pivot. So Shopify into 400, Tesla into 400. So those are key levels to watch and take profits. And if you are of the fade or short or fight the trend mentality, that would be a good spot to put some short sell trades on into this overhead resistance spot. Be careful with the bull volume though. That will be a scalp trade only. You're not playing for a trend reversal. On the weekly chart, now Shopify might not have the same buzz or same popularity or infamy as Tesla shares do, but it still had a stellar and stable uptrend. 2019 has been a stellar year for Shopify shares as this uptrend has continued really without, that's one pullback, but that's about it. And that's a mid-year pullback. Can you believe we started the year at about 150 and now we're at 400? You don't see that happen very much, and that's why I think Shopify has been in the chat room quite a bit here in TheoTrade. And that's, again, daily commentary, intraday tactics, intraday strategies, and the like. If you don't want to trade this on a swing trading basis, which just plays the next swing low to high or high to low, or shorting the highs that are overbought, or trading flags, right? We're just using trend tactics. You can also do so on the lower time frame. So we had a trend day in today's session. So trend days start with an opening gap. Similar pattern. You're making new highs on strong volume. And as long as that volume continues, the odds do favor new highs yet to come. With something priced this high, you'd probably be better off just trading the shares, just trading the options itself, calls, long calls, near-term in the money options with the near-term expiration. The same would be true if you're not trading on the duration or the vertical spreads in Tesla, just finding something strong getting stronger. Tesla was once a trend day beginning, and it continued into a trend day all day. This is the type of logic that we like to recommend in the videos with these new 52-week high stock scans. It's finding things that are strong right now and looking for them to get even stronger in the future. Shopify, Tesla, and many other names, including one other that isn't quite as thrilling or exciting, but Southern Company had a strong trend day on Tuesday, and that takes us up into another new all-time high. And we can look back at the weekly chart here in Southern Company and the daily chart. So as swing traders, we just identify the trend by the pullbacks or retracements or flags. I like to use the 20 and the 50 exponential moving average, but a trend line, a simple little trend line, will do just as well. I watch volume to make sure volume is expanding or rising. And if that's the case, we still want to buy pullbacks because odds favor, but certainly don't guarantee that the trend will continue. And if you do start to see these type of divergences like that, we don't want to be as aggressive on the long side, even though the most recent swing trade has been low to high, high to low, and I guess recently here, low to high. These little short-term trend lines help you serve targets to play for or take your position off or close your open profit, and then potentially to short against. So Southern Company has been one of those names. I would be remiss if I didn't at least take a look at the stocks making new 52-week highs in the S&P 500 in tonight's video. With the S&P just near those highs, we had 2 range days in a row. 41 stocks in the S&P 500 joined new 52-week highs. Some of them joined new all-time highs. I certainly won't go through all of the names, but keeping in mind consumer discretionary, financials, that's strong, information technology, a little bit in healthcare. Best Buy, just to name a few names here, Best Buy, of course, Target is a retail, MGM Resorts, these are your retail or discretionary names, Nike, Las Vegas Sands Resort, and others, including some financials that we all know, Citigroup, Bank of America, we have Goldman Sachs, and others. So keep these in mind as there's NVIDIA too. So a quick look at those helps show additional strength. Strong stocks getting stronger. Bull market continues. We are in that end of year type of holiday rally. This was similar to November, maybe with a more fever pitch pace in December here. So these are candidates. They're weird, strange, awkward. Buying these highs. We don't buy all-time highs. We buy pullbacks or retracements from the highs. So each of these stocks are good for your watch list. Of course, trade them based on your parameters, your risk tolerance, and your experience level. As always, be careful and safe. This is Corey Rosenblum with your Theo Nightly video for December 18th, 2019.